are people there. I didn't even realize that. Howdy, people. Hey, Bubba, how's it going? Hope your day is going well. Oh. Hey, Rivka, can you hear me okay? Matt Ayers, as I live and breathe. The side I'm showing you is clean. It's all about presentation. The other side is just like, it's dead bodies and stuff. Can you hear me okay? Hey. What's up, Catherine? Is it okay if I still call you Aurora? I always feel weird calling you Catherine. Hey, mommy and baby, I presume. All right. Well, I was thinking tonight I might... Oh, thanks, man. Hey, Ben, what's up? Miss you, brother. NK, hello. What I was thinking of writing tonight was a... we're all kind of stuck inside here. And I thought, rather than writing something mushy or soupy or, what if the world were... Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. Hey, Valentine. I love you. I figured instead of writing something sad, because who wants to hear that right now, I'd rather write a song about being outside having a huge adventure, which is what I think most of us wish we were doing. Valentine and I were watching Fangbone, which if you haven't seen is a hilarious cartoon on Netflix based on a series of children's books, but it's about this child barbarian who comes to Earth. He speaks like Conan the Destroyer. It's great. But I was thinking about maybe doing a song that has 3 parts, 3 little movements, and maybe kind of like an overarching thing. Hey, Angela, what's up? Now, I don't know if I'll do all those tonight, but I know I want to have like some kind of exciting moments. This being a Wicked Petey kind of thing, it'll be guitar heavy for sure. And probably, if there's the fighting of a monster or a dragon or something, that would be the guitar solo, because then our imaginations can do most of it. Now, when I'm writing music, I find that, some people like to write on different instruments. The only instrument I'm good at playing in any way is the guitar. However, I usually write melodies on the keyboard or the piano, and I actually write them out, because I find that otherwise I write very just kind of root note melodies, because I'll write a really cool guitar part that's fun to play, but then the only melody I can think of is the one that just sits on the bottom the whole time. La 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 la, and the whole song sounds like that. So I usually do melodies on the keyboard and write it all out, even though I'm not terribly good at that either. It takes me a long time. And honestly, if we didn't have electronics, there's no way I could do it. It would take me months to write one song. But hey, Corey, what's up, brother? Hope you guys are doing well out in Tennessee. So what I'm going to do for this one, though, because it is a Wicked Pete kind of thing, I'm going to make it guitar heavy and just go ahead and let the guitar, follow my nose on the guitar a little bit. Let's see. I'm just going to get loose for a second. Hey, Holly, oh my gosh, how are you doing? Terribly Renaissance-y. So let's see. You usually need like a... I'm sure I'll remember all this later. Facebook will remember, right? That's Walk Don't Run, isn't it? That's okay. Who will know? Hey, G, what's up, Rachel? Now, one of my only strengths as a musician is that I feel like I'm good at getting like some little element of a style. Like if somebody goes, "Hey, Holly," oh, I sure will, man. I hope you're doing well. Beautiful thing. Um, One of the things I'm good at, musically speaking, is copying styles. So I can listen to, I know what each genre has to offer usually. If somebody's like, hey, play a reggae song or play something that sounds kind of flamenco-y, or can you give me something kind of R&B like or heavy metal or whatever, I can give you something that sounds like that. But if I had to go really far in that, I'm kind of a jack of all trades, master of none kind of guy. So it's one of those things where I've got I don't want to say stock riffs, but I definitely have things that I gravitate towards. Hey, Annie, how are you? Hey, Mark. Oh my gosh, my man. So one of the things that always pops up when I want to give something a flamenco flair, it's always this thing from Malagueña. All it is it's an open E chord, and you can slide it all around. It sounds all exotic. Hey, David Stevens. Oh my gosh. That's all it is. Actually, you can play, what's the song? It's Cream, Deserted Cities of the Heart. You can play it all with an A chord. This is that Cream song. Anyway, you get the idea. So, let's see. Hey, Alex, how are you, man? Oh, Keith, Guy. Long time no see, brother. I hope we get to play together sometime soon. Hello, beautiful cat lions. Oh, man. Well, hey, we got to do more of this. All right. So let's see. So something. These kinds of pseudo 6/8 patterns are really good for Celtic-y sounding music. Make a slight change away from Walked On and Don't Run so I can feel good about myself. But I do always like to... Sorry, kind of getting into it there. We should write something, right? Hey, Ed, hope you're doing well. And David, gosh. Well, let's see. So let's see. What's something kind of adventure-y? I mean, obviously we got to go somewhere, right? It's got to be a journey, that sort of thing. Yeah, it does have that kind of rhythm to it, doesn't it? Hey, Wes, how are you doing? Well, let's see. Now, all I'm doing right now is I'm doing stuff. I'm doing a little, I have a text file open on the computer so I can make some notes to myself. Often when I'm recording, I'll, get in front of my computer. If I get a good lick going, I'll get in front of my computer and just do a quick QuickTime video of it, or I'll record it or something. Because I found that I know my own playing well enough that if I see myself do it, even though, you ever watched a guitar instructional video? I've always found them utterly confounding. Speaking as a guitarist, I can never tell what the people are doing with their hands. It always looks like they're, like if you watch Yngwie Malmsteen's hands or something, it sounds like, you're hearing a million notes a second. But when you look at his hands, it looks like this. So it's like, I'm like, what? That doesn't teach me anything. But I found that if I watch myself playing, I can usually go, oh, I hear what I did there. Okay, so I found that it's good to have not just, hey, Scott, I am glad to see you. I find that it's really good to have not just a an audio recording of myself, but a video recording so that I can go, oh, and see what I was doing there. Yeah. So let's see. Maybe we'll do something that sounds a little more positive for the beginning of this journey. So I want to go to the I want to go to the major there. That's a favorite trick of mine, by the way. When you hear this, all I'm doing is I'm taking an open chord and I'm sliding it up. Now, what chord is that? I'm sure you could get on a chord finder and find the actual chord this is. I don't know what it is, but I can tell you this. This was a C chord, so if I slide it up 2 frets, it's some kind of D chord. So if you slip it into a piece of music where you would have a D chord, don't do it every time, but if you do it once in a while, it adds flavor. So, oh yeah, Wes, thank you for being here. Kedron, oh my gosh, how's it going, man? Wow, how cool is that? So what I'm doing here is I'm A minor, A major, because I think that's kind of an interesting start. It makes you go, what? It's already off kilter. Something's about to happen. Clearly, you know, there's a lot to be resolved here. Get it? Resolved? And then C. And then whatever kind of D chord this is. Maybe we do that again, and this time, that time I went to an F, to a C, to a D. Because I think going to a regular D there makes it seem like there's something good that's going to come out of this travel. Does that make sense? So it's like, weird, what's going to happen? Something's going to happen, but I can't tell you what, or listen to my story. Here it is again. Here's a little more of the story. That's exciting. You know it's going to be heroic because it goes to this big major chord. And let's see. The F is always good to go back to. No, I don't know. No, I can hear it in my head. No, that's... This is the hard part of songwriting, right? That's what it was. It was there all along. I played it right the first time. Like that. There we go. What did I play? Okay, so that was a good little turn that makes it seem like something exciting is coming. Yeah? So it's like you start the story and it's a little like, I've got a weird story to tell you, my son. And then the next phrase of music is like, and it was a tale of heroics. And then it's a tale of maybe, then this part, or something serious happened, but it kind of, it happened in a way that's hopeful, because that's a very hopeful move, right? So it's like something bad is happening, that's very minor-y, but then if you wait a minute, it gets heroic again. Yeah, I think that's all it is. So, so this is that turn. Yeah, that's good, because then at the end, if it comes back to that A minor, not only are we set up to go right back into this progression again, but then it leaves my favorite corny trick for the end, the Picardy third. So the last time we hear it, it will undoubtedly go. Oh man, it all worked out. Because I love that, you know. What's up, Brett? Oh, I'm so excited. I finally got to get groceries today. I haven't had beer in days. It's been like being on Gilligan's Island. All right. So let's see if I remember any of what I played. It was oh yeah, to the major. One of the things about that sliding chord, it's always good if you strike it and then slide it. Because if you do, you can do. That's fine. But this lets us hear that some of the strings stayed where they were. Some of the notes were consistent, and then other notes moved around it. It's one of those things that makes it sound like, it's one of those things that makes it sound like more is going on than really is. This is one of those Wicked Pete things that makes it sound like there's much more happening in your playing. You know, the real tricks that I have are usually things like adding an extra finger in there so that it sounds like there's a bass line moving around. This kind of, Michael Mario, how are you doing? Handsome man. But that slide there, it makes it sound like it's more complex than it really is. But it's such a simple move, you can see. Anybody can do that. If you are somebody who plays guitar, throw that in. Right? So anyway, we have, my story starts. Oh, wait, I changed it that time. What did I do? Love you too. Oh. Yeah, that's what it was. And then it was the middle section, which was the F, right? Oh, shoot. Hey, Shannon, what's up? Yeah, I like this progression because it lets me do one of my favorite things. Ben Hewlin, you'll definitely appreciate this. It lets me go back and forth between the major and the minor when soloing. It has this kind of ambiguity that a lot of bluegrass music has, where is this happy or is this sad? You know, is this heroic or is this, what's the opposite of heroic? Cowardly? Whatever. Wicked Pete's all those things, so I think it works. Hey, Jim! Oh gosh, don't wish that on me, Rivka. All right. Let's see where we are here. Oh, whoops. Oh, yeah. Sure, there'll be some kind of turnaround there. Something like that. Something that sounds like it should be Judas Priest. All right, so that happens. That's the thanks, Ben. Let's see. So let's see. So we've got that. I think that's a pretty good. I tend to write in very poppy formats usually. So I'm just going to. Um, I'm going to just go ahead and assume that the second verse sounds something like that, and then there's some kind of a bridge, solo, and then another verse or an outro chorus or something like that. But I'm a big believer in throwing everything down on the page. I will probably start writing some lyrics to this at some point. I'm going to write down that we know it's a story. Obviously, all these old songs are always recounting a story. There's always this framing device of, let me tell you a story of when this happened. And I always wonder about that in theater and in music. Do we really need the framing device? Why can't we be along in the adventure? Why does it have to be somebody recounting an adventure? Why aren't we part of just tell me the adventure. Sing the adventure as it happens. Then again, giving it a framing device of a narrator always makes it seem like it's got some kind of history to it. That it's legendary. Hello, Keith. I miss you. It gives it this sense that it's legend. So I guess that's the question. Do we want to make this seem more like a legend or more like something that's happening in the now? I think with Wicked Pete, it's often funny if it is told as if it's legend, because the idea of such a ridiculous character being legendary is in itself a funny idea to me. But either way, I'll be happy because I'll be singing about myself, right? So what could be better than that? Ooh, that's good, Kara. Why? Kara is saying well, you can read what she's saying. Why is that? Why do you refuse to let them use the narrator? Is that because it's too? Is it because it's too easy to do it that way? I'm really curious about that. You see so many framing devices in theater, and I frequently go, do we need these? Especially in children's theater. It's always, look, a box full of feather boas and hats, and now we're telling a play. Or it's, oh my gosh. I've got one of the Witcher video games, and I have played some of it, but I gave up very early on because there was a lot of crafting that I couldn't quite follow, and I was like, I never have the right plants to make any of this stuff. And I haven't watched the show on Netflix either, even though I hear the combat show don't tell. Yeah, absolutely. But in music, it's all telling. So, I don't know. But I mean, music is theater, right? So, it's still a good rule, I think. As far as The Witcher, I haven't been able to bring myself to watch it on Netflix because I hear the combat's great, but I just think Henry Cavill is such a stiff. I've heard he's great on that, so maybe, who knows? Maybe I'll give him a chance. 4th week of the plague. Maybe we'll do that. Anyway, what my tendency is to go ahead and put everything on paper. Any idea I have, if I can't think of a rhyme right then, I write down what it is I want to say in whatever language I can come up with, and then I figure out the rhyme and the rhythm. To me, rhythm is king. If the rhythm fits nicely the way you would naturally speak, then it's a good line. And one of my songwriting pet peeves is when somebody writes a song and something falls on the wrong syllable so that it doesn't sound like speech. They emphasize a syllable that you would never emphasize in speaking. You can do that for effect, but I think as a general rule, it just, I don't know, it always takes me out of it because it sounds like there should have been one more draft of the song. To me, it's just lazy writing. It's, well, I can't think of another way to do this, so here it is. There's always another way to do it. Anyway, so I figure there's this story. What should this story be about? Obviously, it's, we're going on a journey. So, that's pretty classic. Journey. And a journey for what? There's got to be a goal, right? There's got to be a holy grail or a monster to fight, someone to save, something like that. I will definitely take it under consideration, Benjamin Harper Hewlin. It sounds interesting. And I've heard lots of good things about it. So what should the MacGuffin be in this? Why are they going on this journey? Are they just restless? That's not a very strong reason. It's always got to be, I don't want to make it too topical because I was about to say we could make it about they're traveling to get some kind of magical all cure for, the king's deep sleep or something like that. Val says, Elf on adventures to save his Motger. Oh, yeah, mother. That's sweet. I like that, though. That's a good reason. I mean, somebody's fallen ill, you have to climb the highest mountain to get the cure. Maybe we shouldn't shy away from that. I don't know. That's the thing. If we write something that is topical but classic, we can come back to it later and it'll still make sense. It's worth a thought. Good idea, kid. Let's say now, what kind of and there has to be some kind of peril. So the journey has to have a goal, and then it has to have an obstacle. Hey, Christy. You know what I think I need? I need more brain fuel for my think meat. Right. My mind flesh. Shucks. There we go. I was really thinking ahead. Tonight's live stream is brought to you by A Night on Ponce IPA. That's not in any way true, although I really wish it were. And if there are any beer execs out there looking to endorse me sitting at my desk drinking and playing the guitar, then by all means do so. Tasty. All right. Yeah, there's a latrine in here too, so I never have to leave. That's not true at all. What am I, The Rock working out? No. All right. Okay, so let's see. If there is a magical artifact, I think the idea, though, of a magical artifact where you're not going on this journey for your own gain, but to save somebody else. And I think, hey, Courtney, how's it going? It's funny. Actually, Ben, I have an idea about plague doctors. I know that sounds like a really weird thing to say, but I thought of it in the car today on the way to the grocery store. I have a musical idea for plague doctors, and if you'd like to be involved, I'll shoot you a note. And I have a friend who's building like a wacky plague. He's like this amazing costume designer. He's building a plague doctor stuff right now. The guy's incredible. He's a certified genius. Well, anyway, I do like the idea that it's not a journey for riches or a journey to get like a sword or something like that. It's a journey. It's a smaller need. It's somebody close to you. So let's say that. Let's say the mother is ill, and the only thing that can save her is some kind of medication that is available elsewhere. Like in Canada, cheap prescription medication. No, I mean like some kind of what is the word I'm looking for? Not a poultice, but like an elixir, perhaps. That is, yeah. It's a naturally occurring thing. It's only in one place, so it's the water of a particular spring. That already leads me. Oh. That already leads me to, let's see, water from a spring. Yeah. I like that. Okay, so we need something that sounds like water from a spring. When we arrive at the spring, it should have some kind of pretty thing. A potion, yeah. Something. But it's got to be a little sad, too, because it's this tiny trickling spring on this distant black mountain of, that just looks like a huge piece of coal. Or, hey, Kim, is alabaster? No, that's white. What's a rock that's like onyx, perhaps? The only reason I know about the alabaster is because they always compare people's skin to alabaster. Let's see. So we've been working in A minor, so I think it makes sense to make that A major. And one of my favorite things is always to throw in these chords that have open strings on the top. This is just an A chord. It's the F shape, but I've moved it up to the 7th fret, so now it's an A chord. And you can take the open E out of it. That's nice because now you have a little natural chorusing between these two strings. Obsidian, yeah. Thank you. Ben Hewlin, Obsidian, yeah, absolutely. Ebony Hematite. That's funny. I actually wrote a song about malachite one time. Hey, Ernie Dollar. I think about you every time I cut my hair. Hey, Damon, what's up? So I think that's good for tinkling water because it's got this this kind of chorusing sound that it sounds like things tumbling over each other. And anytime you're talking about things falling or twinkling or a stationary thing that has movement, like a star twinkling or a diamond shining or something like that, I tend to throw in things like this. Because it gives a sense that it's stationary, but it's got some weird sense of movement. Hey, Ariel. Yeah. In fact, that's something that I throw into all around my hat for any of those of you who know 3/4 rail. And it goes, a fine diamond ring, and I always go, twinkly ring. So, but it'd be nice if it was... I've heard that somewhere, but I don't know where, so I'm not going to worry about it yet. That's a little Joni Mitchell, isn't it? That might be a little too much. It's got to go to someplace weirder than that. Let's see. I think it needs to go to another shape. Maybe that? Is that too rote? I feel like it needs to be a little less settled than that. That seems like it's ending a little too neatly. I think it needs to have something that is a little more ambiguous. John Lloyd, how's it going, man? I think it needs to have something that's a little more ambiguous in there, because right now it sounds like we've solved the whole problem. You know, it should be that this trickling spring seems like the right thing. It's the goal. We've reached it. It's exciting that it's there, and it's magical. But is it the right kind of magic? Is it going to save the ailing mother? Or is it going to give her unbelievable explosive diarrhea? So, I don't know a chord for explosive diarrhea. Well, do I? Anyway, so that's a good start. But then it needs something a little more mystical. I like that. That sounds... No. Maybe a smaller move? No. It's horrible, isn't it? This is the... Aren't you glad you tuned in so you could watch me, like, dope around with chords? I want to hear the explosive diarrhea chord. Hey, Patricia. I like this. Yeah, maybe we settle it there so it's not, it's just a bunch of D runs. Ooh, you think so? Maybe? I like that idea. I think it's a cool idea. I may steal that. What's up? Let's see. I like the two different endings idea. That's a very Mystery of Edwin Drood. Yeah, maybe you get to choose on the record. Go to track 3 if you want to hear if the mother should take the potion. Go to track 4 if she should analyze it first in their 3rd century chem lab. 3rd century. Wow, I just pulled Pete from the Renaissance way back to the dawn of time, practically. Hey, hey. I like that, though. It's a trickling spring, but is it magical? You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of this. You know what that is? Let's see if I can remember the rest of it. It's a Jane's Addition song. It's Ocean Size. But, you know, for a while... Hey, Mary, I'm really glad to see you. You know, for a while, I really worried a lot, and I still worry a lot, about writing something that's already been written. I frequently will write... Oh, that's brilliant about the record. That's fantastic. I worried about it a lot because I would write something and I was constantly stopping myself in midstream going, I've heard that progression. Especially when you've heard a lot of music and you know a lot of songs by other people. You frequently go, oh, it's that. Oh, it's this. I can't possibly use it. And I'm not saying it's okay to poach from other people. But what I'm saying is, you know, there's a finite number of chords on this instrument. Now, there's an infinite number of ways to put them together. But there are certain chords that we gravitate to because they sound right. They sound good. That's where our ears want them to go. So it's okay to go there if that seems right. Now, if you write something and then you go, okay, well, I just rewrote Purple Haze, then yeah, you might want to change a note or two. But I've definitely written songs and gone, that sounds great. And then months later gone, oh. There was a 3/4 L song that I wrote and we performed, and I was, you know, we were doing something months later, and I had the riff running through my head, and I went, that's Freedom by Wham. That's why that sounded so good. Oh, well. But anyway, you know, taking a feeling like that, like an opening kind of this tumbling water feeling, that's a very vague thing, so I wonder if that's why I associate it with water. Because I heard it in this ocean song. I don't know. But it's not like theirs exactly, so. Set to 1920s. Hey, Jeffrey, how's it going? We got to get a trumpet jam going. Ben plays the trumpet too, so. I really like that. It's pretty good. So, does this elixir work? I should have made that a poll question. Like, just does this elixir actually cure her? Oh my gosh! Oh, it's 9:40. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. Well, let's see what we've got so far. So we've got this. What was the middle part? Oh, yeah. Let's hear the water section. So it's... Oh, that was a happy mistake. Or was it? I think that's pretty good, though. That's a pretty good progression. All right. Well, water from a spring, mother. So, the one thing I feel like I'm missing from this little story arc is the major obstacle. Now, obviously, climbing a giant obsidian mountain is a tremendous obstacle physically and mentally, I guess. I don't know. I never tried it. But I wonder what the obstacle could be. Is it a monster? Is that too rote? Is it a battle with another mystical creature where this person has to persevere? It does seem like there should be some kind of guardian at this thing. Otherwise, wouldn't it just be overrun with tourists? Maybe that's what he fights, tourists. No, that's not very dramatic or legendary. Legendary tourist. Definitely begs further exploration. Traps and other stuff. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Who would have left traps there? That's actually, I like the traps idea because there could be traps that we encounter and that kind of foreshadows the existence of whoever put the traps there. What if, I don't want to blow the ending of the song for you, but what if there's some buildup with these dangerous traps? You know that the creator of the traps is at the top, and then when you get there, it's this feeble old person who can't fight you anymore. And you use the elixir to save them. Oh my gosh. That's so deep, right? I like that idea. A little surprised. I don't know what happens to Mom. Maybe she gets better on her own. She self-cleanses. She does a cleanse. It's like she's got a lot of hemp in her system and she's got a job interview next week. So, she does a lot of fiber. Gets one of those cleanse things from the local hemp wallet store. I like this idea. Oh, that's a really good idea. Trap section. There's a fantastic kung fu movie, Shaw Brothers. I think it might be the last movie with the 5 Venoms, if anybody's familiar with the 5 Venoms. Neti pot? Is that the trap? A neti pot? Oh, or do you put it... Oh, that's how the mother survives. Supplements, of course. What if they want this mystical water to put in her neti pot? Oh, it's all coming together. I mean, this shit writes itself. Don't you think? Hey, Rob, what's up? I like that idea. So maybe the final, maybe the battle with this. The martial arts movie, right? There's this Shaw Brothers movie called House of Traps. The 5 Venoms, for anybody who may not know, the 5 Venoms were this team. Me too. Were this team of martial artists who did all these movies together. It was great fun to watch them because they would change the types of roles they were, because all the guys were good actors. All the guys were amazing martial artists. And so in one movie, one guy would be the villain, and in the next movie, the next guy would be the villain, and they would change around who was the heroic lead and who was the villain, who were the cronies, and who were the best friends and stuff like that. And they all are completely amazing fighters. But one of the movies is House of Traps, which is exactly what it sounds like. There are artifacts that they're trying to get out of this place, and literally every room they go into, there's some kind of Indiana Jones, like the walls, fall in and everything has spikes on it and the furniture's uncomfortable. Mandolin is always good. Hey, Jeff, what's up, man? Jeff Domke, get with me about a puppet idea you might be interested in. Lee Randall! Wow! Good to see you. How's it going, dude? So we've got a good idea of this song here. Hey, Ashley, what's up? Let's see. I do think there needs to be it's always good to have a battle, but I wonder, do we want to have an actual battle that's an exciting guitar solo that goes crazy, or do we want to play against convention? And if this trapster, there's got to be a better word for this, trapper keeper. If this master of traps, that's better. That actually sounds like a drummer, doesn't it? That's like Buddy Rich, master of traps. Yeah. But if this, the person who booby trapped the mountain, if they are, the person who booby trapped the mountain, if there is a fight, maybe it like starts out big and immediately dwindles, and instead of being like a big testosterone laced, big, bendy guitar solo, maybe it's like it becomes this tender moment or something for this dying, I don't want to say wizard, because if he's a wizard, why leave a bunch of traps around? Dying booby trapper. This dying boob. That may not have the right connotation. He uses a magic gem to give power of a god. Sure. Like in his forehead, magic gem just embedded in his forehead. I don't know. It could work. Let's assume there's going to be a big, crazy guitar solo, because I always love to do that. But I think it is good I like the idea of it dwindling to nothing. That there's a clear victor in the guitar solo. Usually guitar solos like that build and build and build and build and get to a huge, like big crazy climax. What if it's headed towards this climax and then it kind of tapers off a little bit? Would that be interesting? It would give me a chance to play completely different stuff, Let's see. Let's play this. Oops, yeah. I can't do it without moving my head, right? I lost my thread. I had a friend tell me, he's like, if you want to do stuff that's really Renaissance-y, you got to get away from all these pentatonic scales. And you can see how I followed that advice. It became pictures of Magic Men. Anyway, I think you get the idea. It's been amazing to see all you guys. Thank you so much for joining in. Oh, and the bent strings, right. I will never stop bent strings. Those have to be in there. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Hey, Aurora was talking about maybe getting a songwriters group going. I think that would be a super fun thing to do. For those of us who are kind of stuck where we are, can't really move around too much, I think it'd be great to do one over Zoom and maybe get together, brainstorm some ideas, maybe play a little for each other. If you'd like to be a part, of that, hey, drop me a note. I'd be happy to host something like that. I think that would be super fun. It's been great having everybody's feedback tonight and everybody's ideas, serious, silly, or otherwise. You know, that's really the one thing that's missing from the acoustic guitar, Benjamin Harper Hewlin. All this time, I really think it's the whammy bar. If that were added, man, I wish I had one of those now, right? That thing's probably worth $1 million. It's probably not worth $1 million. It's probably worth some dollars. Wait, am I leaving before this song is written? I didn't want to bore you, you know, leave them wanting more and all that stuff. But I do have a good idea now with everybody's great ideas. So tell you what, why don't I see if I can write the rest of this song and maybe I'll post it. I think that might be kind of cool. But anyway, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for being here. And if you had a good time, thanks for participating. And maybe we'll do this again sometime soon. All right. Have a good night. I love you.